Okay, so we're live in the group. Say something.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Great. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to find you. Here we are. We're both showing. Good morning. Say hi or give some hearts or something. I've got to know who's here. Oh, look, how fun is this? Yay. So what I'd like to do this morning is, as people are getting on, my name is Karen Elstrom, and I'm going to be with you for a little while this morning. So I'm really, really excited about that. And this morning, like every morning, we really want to start the morning with gratitude. And we'll talk a little bit more about this as people are getting on, but good morning. Oh, how fun. I just love seeing all you guys coming on, saying good morning. So really starting the morning with gratitude when you wake up first thing, and let's really focus on that for this month so it becomes a habit. I know many of you are already doing this, but just wake up and start taking some deep breaths. Let's just do it now. And just start thinking about what you're grateful for. All the things in our life that we're so grateful for. And I would love it if you would drop in the chat what you're grateful for this morning, because we have so many things to be thankful for. And when they're always on our mind, it really just keeps us centered and focused, calm, and really allows us to do so much more. And I'm grateful that everyone is on this call this morning so early, at least the West Coasters, right at 6 a.m. I even put on makeup this morning, you guys. That's how much I love you. Oh, I love it. My health, my kids, sobriety. Oh, this is so amazing. Think of how our lives have been so impacted. I'm just going to wait a minute or two while you're doing this to let people get on. Think about how our lives have been so impacted. Even those of you, I'm sure, who've just joined us recently, have been a coach for a day or two or three, or a week or two or three. It's only going to get better and better, you guys. Oh, I love reading these. Yes, to see the beautiful sunrise. Don't you love watching the sunrise? Oh, it's one of my favorite things. Do y'all have water? Okay. Our health, of course. For our trainings and family and grandbabies. I don't have grandbabies yet. I'm waiting for those. Perhaps my daughter's on this call this morning. This will be Courtney, I'm waiting. Oh, I'm so happy to see all of you this morning. So we're going to go ahead and get started. It's a few minutes after 6. And I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Karen Elstrom. I am what you call a presidential director, but really what that means is I've just helped a lot of people over the last almost 10 years of coaching. So it is pretty incredible to see what is happening to our team, to all of you. I mean, do you guys just feel it? Can you just feel the fire? Can you just feel the excitement brewing? Convention was out of this world, and really allow it to be such a springboard for you moving forward, because you have everything it takes to be incredibly successful. So I'm really, really excited for you. So my intention for our time together this morning is for you to have a clear vision of what you really, really want. I want you to be really open to knowing that you can really have what you really want. I want you to be clear on the value of setting your intentions on what you want and not settle for anything less. And we're going to talk about goal setting, and we're going to talk about making quantum leaps. I really love that word. But first, I'd really like to share a little bit about my story. Now, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. My family, if you can believe this, was in the candy business. My dad and mom had huge dreams of creating a really successful unique specialty confection business. And they did that. And they were in a lot of high-end stores and still are to this day. Neiman Marcus, Disneyland, to name a few, a lot of the department stores, which are no longer in business, but it really was really successful. And they were really committed to the success of the business and were very hands-on. They spent many, many hours working. So that was my life, seeing my parents work like crazy, because if they weren't there, guess what? Things weren't going to happen. And during the busy Christmas season, they were there many, many weeks. And many, many weeks they were there all night long making candy. And so from a very young age, I had a job in the business. I mean, like 5 or 6. I was the oldest of 4 kids. And it was just expected in our business that we just did whatever it took. It was a family business after all. And we would jump in and do whatever we needed to do to get the job done. Even in fact, when I was old enough to start dating, if my boyfriend wanted to see me during the busy Christmas season, he had to go to the shop, we called it. He had to go to the shop and he had to work too. So at a very young age, though, I had this spirit of wanting to do more. I always was trying to figure out a way. Now I know it was leveraging my time, but I didn't know what that meant back then. And what I would do is when I was at our business, I would gather bags of candy that was in bags itself, and I would take them home and I would put them in my wagon. And I would walk up and down our street and I would knock on doors and I would sell, because of course this little girl, she's 6 or 7, selling candy to all the neighbors, and they always bought. It was pretty cool. It was 100% profit because of course I didn't pay for it, which wasn't a bad gig for a little kid. And I dreamt a lot about how I even thought at that time, maybe I could get my friends to get their wagons and start selling in their neighborhoods, and they could give me a % of everything they sold. So I really just had these thoughts that I wanted to do more. And in our business, in our family business, we were very active participants. And I learned early on that if you want to create something, you really need to set goals. Be a participant, be involved in the success. It was a very successful company, and it almost crashed a couple times. We hadn't planned on businesses not paying their bills or filing bankruptcy. And I remember like teetering on the edge, like, is the business even going to be successful? So all those lessons and life experiences, I think, really have helped me be where I am today. But, my parents felt strongly that we all needed a college degree. So off to college I went, and I decided to take dental hygiene. Why? Because I loved helping people, and I knew dental hygienists were paid well. And I figured that they were paid well enough that we wouldn't really have to work every day. So I could think in terms of, I wouldn't have to work every day, but yet I can earn an income and I could think about doing something else. But I didn't know what it was. It was just this restless spirit that I felt there was more that I could do. I just didn't know what. So my husband and I met. Trust me, I'm not going to take you through every year of my life because we'd be here a long time. So I'm fast forwarding. My husband and I met and we got married. He's a dentist. So both of us with an entrepreneurial spirit, we decided to leave the business we were working for someone in and start our own group dental practice. We had no patience. We just took out huge loans to buy equipment and set up the office and opened the door, and here we were. So what do? You have to go out and talk to people. So I would go every single day, door to door in our neighborhood, and invite people to come to our practice. I wanted them to know that they would have the best care. Well, of course they would, because we didn't have many patients, so we'd be really focused on them. But I wanted them to know, I wanted them to meet us, I wanted them to feel comfortable, and guess what? We started growing and growing quickly because people loved that relational experience. But the really great thing about dentistry, and it isn't really, but as long as you have your hands in someone's mouth, you create revenue. We were working 5 days a week, 10 to 12-hour days. We had huge overhead because remember, we had to take out this huge, it was probably $300,000 loan to equip the office. Plus, Merv had school loans from dentistry. So we were working hard and paying out big money. And I remember for the longest time, we didn't even take a profit. Living the dream, right? And you know, the crazy thing is, I thought we were. To me, I thought, wow, even though I had this inkling for something more, it's like, whoa, wow, we're living the dream. I thought we were comfortable. Many of you know, I just don't like that word at all. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. Comfortable. And so, because I was always seeking more, because up until this point, everything I had done required me to be there hands-on. If I wasn't there, I'm not going to get paid. And I just really felt I was destined to do more, to be more, to help more people. I just wasn't sure what it was. So somewhere in those years, I was introduced to a direct sales company that had dental products. Of course, that was a fit for me because we were in dentistry. And that was really my first exposure to the possibility of leveraging my time. I really loved the concept. And what it taught me about that, it was like, yes, this is what I was thinking about. Now, there are businesses that you can be in that you gain a lot of experience, or you can earn a lot of money. Well, this particular company, I gained a lot of experience. But you know, the very best thing about this company is I met Kim Fisk there, and we became fast friends. And a few years later, in the same company, I met Becky Flamong there. So isn't it so interesting how 20 years later, we would all be reconnected? So think about people you meet along the way. And honestly, you never know who's going to come back into your life. I mean, isn't that so amazing? And Kim and I hadn't even talked for 20 years. Actually, Becky and I hadn't even talked for 20 years. But that's a story for another day. So once I started coaching, of course, Kim introduced me to Optavia. And I went on program. And shortly after I started program, several weeks, I decided to coach. A little hesitantly, I wasn't sure I really wanted to, because one of the things I did learn that I thought it was a lot of work. And I wasn't sure if I was up to that as well. But I started coaching because I love to help people. And I discovered really early on how much I loved it and how I could impact so many people, how we could truly leverage our time by helping others get what was important to them. I could also reach my goals. And how cool is that, from going from a job that you're at the chair, cleaning teeth, picking and flicking. If you're not doing that, you're not getting paid, to, oh my gosh, what do you want? Let me help you get it. And you get to see success all around you, and people are so excited. So back in the day when I started coaching, we didn't teach the blended path. So we just enrolled a ton of clients. So in the beginning, I was kind of thinking, you know, this is a leverage your time type of business, but I was really helping a lot of people. So how could I really leverage my time? It almost seemed like an 8-to-5 job for a while when you're coaching like 70, 80 clients, right? And I think at that time, maybe I had one coach, maybe two, but not many. And this is really when my first shift came. And that was the only way I'll be able to impact an incredible amount of people and truly change thousands of lives, would be to sponsor coaches. Novel thought. Now that's just what we do. Isn't that so cool? And things happen way, way faster now, as you know. So that was the beginning of the shift from a client-focused mindset to a coach sponsoring mindset. And you know what happened? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I started having different conversations. I was asking questions. I was listening to what they wanted in all areas of their life. I fell in love with their story. Fall in love with their story. Everyone that you know, fall in love with their story. I wanted to know what they wanted. And I partnered with them as they worked towards their dreams and towards their goals. And I saw something in them often that they had not seen themselves yet. I saw something in them. Don't you see that happening with people you're talking to? Like you see something in them and they just don't see it yet. So what happened was our team started exploding exponentially. We doubled and tripled in size. In 1 year, we grew 500%. Almost every month, honestly, record-breaking month. And you know that because Jamil tells you that as well. And it's not because of me. It is because of all of you. It is because of all of you catching the vision, all of you, the coaches in our coach family. And truly, Optavia has been the most amazing gift. It'll be 10 years coaching for me in November. And I'm telling you, it gets better and better and better, more than I could have ever imagined. Remember I said I thought I had a pretty good life? I was comfortable. Oh my gosh, I had no idea what was possible. I had no idea what living a life of freedom meant. My husband and I, we love to travel, explore new places, see the world. Over the last 6 years, we've traveled about 6 weeks a year, which is pretty amazing. And we've been to some really cool places. And we love to take our kids and their spouses on some of our adventures. We also travel with other coaches on our team that are also creating freedom in their lives. And this is cool. We get to go on vacations with no limitations. It wasn't always like that. It was not always like that. We had to plan, we had to save, we had to put it on credit cards. Then we'd have huge credit card bills. But we only took 1 week, maybe twice a year, but not very exotic places because you can't really go very far if you can only be away from the office for a week. So enjoying life with family and friends is truly just the best. And one of the best things about coaching for me is watching the coaches in our coach family, all of you, experience freedom and what is really possible for all of you. And just know you can truly have whatever you want. Every single thing you can have. You can make it happen right here. You have the key. You have the key. Get lost in the success of others. Be generous. Offer this gift to everyone. You truly will be blessed beyond your wildest dreams because I know I am and those around me are. And that's just what happens when you come from a place of gratitude, love, passion, and caring. So now I would really like to talk about what do you really, really want? And I want to start off by reading a story to you. So I need a drink really quick. And I found this story and I really love it. There's not a title. It's called A True Story. So listen to this story and see where it fits for you. I'm sitting in a quiet room at the Millcroft Inn, a peaceful little place hidden back among the pine trees, about an hour and a half out of Toronto. It's just past noon, late July, and I'm listening to the desperate sounds of a life or death struggle going on a few feet away. There's a small fly burning out the last of its short life energies in a futile attempt to fly through the glass of the window pane. The whining wings tell the story of the fly's strategy. Try harder. But it's not working. The frenzied effort offers no hope for survival. Ironically, the struggle is part of the trap. It is impossible for the fly to try hard enough to succeed at breaking through the glass. Nevertheless, this little insect has staked his life on reaching its goal. Through raw effort and determination, this fly is doomed. It will die there on the windowsill. Across the room, 10 steps away, the door is wide open. 10 seconds of flying time, and this small creature could reach the outside world it seeks, with only a fraction of the effort now being wasted. It could be free of this self-imposed trap. The breakthrough possibility is there. It would be so easy. Why doesn't the fly try another approach? Something dramatically different, perhaps? How did it get so locked in on the idea that this particular route and determined effort offer the most promise for success? What logic is there in continuing until death? To seek a breakthrough with more of the same? Sound familiar at all? No doubt this approach makes sense to the fly. Regrettably, it's an idea that will kill. Trying harder isn't necessarily the solution to achieving more. It may not offer real promise for giving what you want or for getting what you want out of life. Sometimes, in fact, it's a big part of the problem. If you stake your hopes for a breakthrough on trying harder than ever, you may kill your chances for success. Wow, right? So I think we've all been there. We've all done the same thing over and over and expecting different results, when probably inches away, another perspective, another turn, another thought, reaching out to a mentor could change everything. So, are you ready for more? Do you know that you don't have to settle for things as they are now? In fact, the results you can have will be hard for you to imagine. Because you know why? We haven't been reaching for our full potential. I really truly believe that we haven't even come close. We have barely scratched the surface of what is even possible. Are you ready to make a quantum leap? I know I am. So let me tell you the definition of quantum leap that I'm referring to here. A quantum leap is reaching out for what your heart yearns for now, rather than settling for what common sense says is the reasonable thing to do. Reasonable and comfortable to me are kind of the same thing, right? We don't want to be reasonable, be unreasonable. Most of us can really be found flying too close to the ground. Too often, we don't give ourselves permission to soar, do we? I'd say no. And if you're not already doing this, it is time to start focusing on possibilities and not limits or obstacles. Let your desires and your goals guide you instead of allowing yourself to be boxed in by perceived constraints. Did you hear that? Perceived constraints, because they're not true anyway. And we're going to talk more about that in the next few days, your mindset. To make a quantum leap, don't limit your desires to what you think you can have. Start going after what you want, because don't we always, we don't think we're worthy, right? We do not give ourselves enough credit. This means you must give yourself permission to dream, to risk. Set yourself free to do that. The real limits won't box you in, but the ones we make up in our head, our chatter, our limiting beliefs, they can become our self-imposed prison, and they can hold us hostage. When I was reading the goals, I saw a lot of people comment about getting out of my own way. I need to get this done. I really want it. My chatter's holding me back. So let's talk about your goals. I read most of the goals that you posted in the group, and I love that you shared them. And my opinion is many of you are playing way too small, way too small. I want to challenge you to relook at them today and over the next few weeks. And you're going to grow in this boot camp, and you're going to learn things, and those goals are going to evolve too based on what you're learning. So you don't have to know how you're going to get there. I think often we set our goals based on what we think we can do, play it safe, but all you need to know is where you want to go. You don't need to know the how yet. But it's crucial to have a crystal clear picture of what you want to accomplish. You'll want to add dates. You'll want to quantify them, qualify them. For example, when you say, I want to keep my family on track for living a healthy lifestyle. What does that mean? Will you be making sure this happens? Or I should say, what will you be doing to make sure this happens? Do you have specific goals for that? Whatever that is, you want to write all those out, be very specific. Or I want to spend more time with my husband and my children. How much time? What days are you going to do that? Will you schedule time together to make sure you have it? If so, when? Be specific. I want financial freedom, financial stability. What does that mean? How much money do you need for financial stability? Write it down. Is that just cash in the bank or other assets? Write it down. What determines your financial stability? Write it down. Think of it this way. Yes, these are your goals. They're your goals. But if I were to look at your goals, would I be clear on what you want by reading what you've written? If it's a financial goal, how much do you want to be earning, or how much debt do you want to pay off? The more clarity you have in writing it down, the easier it is to be laser focused on what it is you want. Sorry, we have dogs barking in the background. So what you want to do is, if you do not have something written down, it's kind of like a shotgun. Your mind's all over the place. Where when you have things written and they're focused and you know exactly where you're going, you can laser focus on what's next for you. Act as if your success is guaranteed. Instead of holding back because you don't have proof, just make the jump and know that most of us have not been trained to think that way, and just do it anyway. Your doubts are not the product of accurate thinking. They're the product of habitual thinking. I'm going to say that again because I think this is so amazing. Our doubts are not the product of accurate thinking, but they are the product of habitual thinking. So for right now, just suspend the disbelief. You don't have to be convinced that you can succeed in making a quantum leap, but don't keep believing these old ideas that you've been carrying around are about your personal limits. This is so important. Just act like you have complete faith. Just do what you would do if you knew you were going to succeed. Behave like you have total conviction. When you think about that right now, and you know, probably have chatter going on right now. Yeah, but Karen, you don't understand, you know, my life, and it's crazy, and I've been trying, and I've talked to 5 people and 2 people told me no, so probably no one wants to do this. Chatter, 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 right? Doubt is what does the most damage. So please don't give that any headspace. Do not allow yourself to think that. Just go boldly forward as if it is completely inconceivable that you will experience anything other than successful quantum leaps. You'll want to move forward once again with a sharply defined mental image of your goals. Like picture it, live it, eat it, drink it, set your intentions, visualize your success as you reach your goals. I loved hearing people at convention talking about what dress they're going to be wearing when they walk across the stage as integrated global or integrated presidential director at next convention. Yes, taste it, see it, feel it. When you start doing that, solutions and answers begin to appear. If you start worrying about everything that will be involved in getting from here to there, oh my gosh, and who's gonna want to come, and they're gonna tell me no, and you will bog yourself down on the how. The answers will come to you. You know why? Because you have the potential. You have resources available. You have mentors. You have the opportunity. The only thing missing is your decision to go for it. We're all waiting. We're all waiting for you. And just know this, things probably will not be all neatly organized and all the risk eliminated before you make your move. It's not how it works. There could be confusion, there could be chaos, things could get messy. Allow for some disorder, but don't get hung up on any of the roadblocks. All you need is your aiming point and your action steps, right? When you send a rocket towards the moon, I'd say, and I actually read this, 90% of the time it is off course. It fails its way to its destination by continually making mistakes and correcting them. Use failure as a resource. It helps you find the edge of your capacity. I mean, oh my gosh, I have made so many mistakes along the way. And guess what? It's like, well, I could have done that better. Evaluate how you can make it better. Don't go, oh my gosh, I'm not good at this. I can't do it. Just go, well, I could have done that better. How could I have done it better? Almost after every call with most everyone, I think to myself, okay, what went well and what could I have done better? Just use it as a tool to help you. Don't quit, because you know what? The only way that you will not be successful in what we do is if you quit. We don't know how long it's going to take you. Doesn't matter, does it? You're passing time anyway. Just continue the journey with an open heart. You know, and truly, you do not achieve your dreams or your full potential on your own. Are you connected to your support team, or are you doing your own thing? Important. Connect to your support team. Don't be an island. Are you engaged in all the team trainings and events? Are you trying to figure things out on your own? Because, you know, after all, I mean, I know all about this kind of business, and I already know how to do it. And yeah, no, leave your ego at the door and connect with your mentor team. Don't try and figure things out on your own. Why reinvent the wheel? You'll just waste a lot of time. And many of us have, because we think we know. Because you know what? We have an entrepreneurial spirit. And when you're an entrepreneur and have an entrepreneurial spirit, we think we already know. So sometimes that's a little challenging, but it's okay. Just make a decision. Are you out on an island, or working with your business, or working your business, I should say, with your tribe and your community? And really stretch yourself. Whatever your goals are, I should say, right this minute, make them bigger. Make them bigger. Think of your yearly income as your monthly income. How does that feel? Does that kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't use the word count. That's scary, but I'm going for it, because you know what? I know you can. Absolutely. I remember when I first talked to Kim Fisk, when she first reached out to me about program first, and then we started talking about coaching. And we were friends, and I just was really curious. She'd been a coach for 2 years. And I said to her, okay, how much are you earning? Because remember, we were in a company that we got a lot of experience and we didn't earn very much money. So I was really curious. And that wasn't my driving force. Even to this day, it's not my driving force. Helping people is my driving force, but it's like a fun little challenge on the side. And she said, I'm earning, after 2 years, she was earning $10,000 a month. I remember that feeling inside me going, oh, are you serious? Wow. I thought to myself, oh, I could never do that. I could not earn that kind of money for sure. Right then, right? I'm already like shooting it down, because in my mind, I just couldn't imagine that I could earn that. In my mind, I thought, oh, maybe 2,000. That was more comfortable, right? I could kind of wrap my arms around that. But anything more than that, I didn't think so. Well, that happened a long time ago, I'm just going to tell you. So I had to learn that way. I had to get rid of those limiting beliefs and that scarcity mentality. And I did. And when those things start to change, everything starts to change. Now, can it happen? Yes. Can your monthly income or your yearly income be your monthly income? Yes. Put it down. Let's just go, right? I'd say take risks, and risk believing in yourself. Make that your risk. Risk believing in yourself. Risk acting on the assumption that you can succeed in making a quantum leap. Otherwise, the risk is, and to me, this gives me goosebumps just to tell you this. Otherwise, the risk is that you will settle for only a fraction of what life has to give you. Think of it this way. This isn't about taking a big chance. It is about really giving you, each one of you, a big chance. So what do you really, really, really want? Don't confuse wishing and wanting with pursuing, because pursuit is an action. Dreams begin to crystallize into reality when they are pursued. When you stretch yourself with your goals, you are not, let me back up. When you stretch yourself with your goals, if you are not experiencing some sort of anxiety or discomfort, here's that dreaming big enough. If they're not a little scary to you, like that 10,000 to me, to Kim, it was like, oh, I don't even think I dreamt it then because I couldn't even wrap my arms around it. If they're not scary to you a little bit, you're not stretching yourself. And if you have a high comfort level, that is total evidence that you're playing it safe, not growing, not really testing your limits at all. And it is so easy to do that. I've done it. You think about a goal, and it makes you feel almost like sick with anxiety. What do we often do before today? Or maybe it was just me. Maybe no one here does this, but before today, maybe some of you did it. What do? We back it off until we feel comfortable, right? Oh my gosh, I can't do that. Maybe I'll back it off a little bit. Oh, yeah, that feels good. I can do that. But what kind of life do you want? For me, I want a life of freedom. That is the number one thing for me in my life. And I know, because I've had many, many conversations with so many of you, I know that it is the same for many of you. Freedom to make decisions that will serve us, that will serve our family, that we can do whatever we want to do whenever we want to do it, right? We can give to whoever we want to give to. We can take whoever we want to take anywhere we want. And passion is a very important part of our process. Do you feel the passion inside you? That is what fills our spirit and energizes us. It also keeps us going when you're hit with roadblocks. I feel one of our biggest skill sets is to know how to awaken people to develop their intrinsic motivation. How to awaken people to develop their intrinsic motivation. How do we do that? For me, I think we learn what they're passionate about, what really lights the fire in their heart, and we fall in love with that. And we commit to partnering with them to help them achieve it. Why? Because the inner drive must be so strong. It needs to be strong enough to carry us past the point of wishful thinking. I love this quote. Let the heart take charge of your body. If you have a magnificent obsession, you are poised for a quantum leap. Don't get bogged down getting prepared for this. Getting ready to get ready. Probably no one on this call does this, but some people can make a career out of laying the groundwork to do something big, right? Have you experienced that? Everything that is needed, every single thing that is needed comes from inside you. The opportunity, the timing, the power to move forward, these are in you. You have the answers. Now, you'll want to listen to yourself. Your dreams, your desires, the thoughts that burn the hottest in your mind, they point the way to your breakthrough. We're just waiting on you. Just do it. Just make the quantum leap. And you will be blessed with so many blessings, blessing after blessing after blessing. And we want you all there. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I hope you found value. I hope that it will allow you to shift a little bit and have an amazing day. We will post the action steps in the group. And I think you're all amazing and I love you all so much. Have a great day. Bye, guys.